Hi, it's me, Cindy's mom. I am back with another story. You're looking at photos of the Camden waterfront, and you'll see why I'm showing them to you in a moment. But for now, I'll tell you the story about our trip to the aquarium that we took on Wednesday. Cindy's homeschooled because of her hyperacusis, so we have the flexibility to do things during the week that other kids can't do. So I thought with it being a Wednesday in the dead of winter, the aquarium would probably be pretty empty, nice and peaceful. So we went, and as I was parking my car, we saw a long row of school buses parked outside of the aquarium, which means lots of kids, which means lots of noise, which means bad news for a hyperacusis sufferer. Um, We looked in the back seat of the car for Cindy's sound canceling earmuffs, and they weren't there, which was also bad news. But we agreed to go inside anyway and see if she could handle the sound. After all, we drove an hour to get there, and she'd been looking forward to it for weeks. So inside, it was really, really loud. There were several schools having field trips, and they were everywhere. And neither the kids nor the chaperones used any form of an indoor voice. Cindy held her hands over her ears most of, actually, the entire time, but she continued through the aquarium. And I asked her if she wanted to head towards the exit, but she said, no, I want to see the jellyfish. So we went on. But the noise got louder and louder, and she started to cry. And she backed herself into a corner of the room and just started sobbing. It felt like we were trapped in the middle of a war zone with nowhere to go. But I saw a break in the people, and I said, come on, let's go, let's make a run for it. But she couldn't move. She just sobbed and repeated, no, it's too loud, it's too loud. So in the corner where she was standing, there was an emergency exit door, and I thought maybe that was our best way out, but I was afraid if we went through it, the alarm would sound. So I grabbed the attention of a dad who was a chaperone with a couple of kids, and I asked him if he could find an employee, and I said we needed to go through the emergency exit. For a second, he looked annoyed, but then he looked at Cindy, and his entire demeanor changed. He grabbed his kids and took off in a hurry to find some help. But a moment later, through another set of doors, two employees came through, and I grabbed them and I said, Cindy needs to get out of the building right now. And I asked if they could disarm the emergency door, and one of the employees just pushed it open, and thankfully there were no alarms. So we rushed out the door, through the door, and into a stairwell, and it was blessedly quiet. While Cindy tried to calm herself down, I explained to the employees about her hyperacusis. And a moment later, two more employees came bursting through the emergency doors, and I assumed they were the ones that the dad had tracked down for us. Um, they were sent off to print some free comp tickets for us. So the employees explained to us that after 1:30, the aquarium is usually really quiet, and they would give us free comp tickets to return another day, but we were also free to re-enter the aquarium later on the same day when it quieted down if we wanted to. In fact, they said that after 1:30, it was so dead that they could nearly see tumbleweeds roll by. So that sounded good. So we left through the stairwell to an outside door. We walked through the parking lot, and Cindy said that she did want to wait until 1:30 and try going in again. But 1:30 was 3 hours away, so we had a lot of time to kill. Behind the aquarium was the Camden waterfront, and we walked along the waterfront for most of the 3 hours. Cindy spent a lot of time tossing little pebbles into the water and climbing on various hand railings. And we also watched the leaves blow by and swirl in the wind, and we took a lot of pictures. So eventually the 3 hours had passed and we saw a school group filing out of the building and we went inside again. It was still a long way from quiet, but um, Cindy stuck it out. She had to plug her ears on and off throughout the entire visit. And a couple of times we had to race out of a room in a hurry because it was just too noisy. But she stayed and she had fun. There are a couple of areas that we had to avoid, like anywhere that the employees were speaking on microphones to explain an exhibit. But we saw the majority of the aquarium. I was still pretty shaken by all the noise that had hit Cindy and how much it had hurt her. But she was completely relaxed and having a wonderful time. So yeah, that was our trip. Most hyperacusis sufferers lock themselves in the safety of their homes and stay there to avoid pain from sounds of the outside world. But since they're protecting themselves from noise and therefore pain, I have to respect that. But on this day, Cindy chose the no pain, no gain philosophy. She's a kid and she wants to do fun things that kids do. And on this particular day, if she had to suffer immensely to do fun things, she was willing to do it. She's not always a fighter. She has really bad days where she feels broken beyond repair. But when she pushes herself out of her comfort zone, despite the pain, she feels like a normal kid. Sure, she was in horrendous pain the day after our trip because the pain from noise lingers for a few days after too much noise exposure. But she never complained. In her eyes, this outing was a rare treat and a complete success. And what does he look like?
Like a kiss. Under the sea. Under the sea. Darling, it's better. Downward, it's better. Take it from me. Man.